But if you didn't have to worry about cost, why would you go into a big classroom or a course? Have the one-on-one instructor. As Steve Jobs famously pointed out, Alexander the Great, he didn't go to a third grade classroom with 50 other students. He had Aristotle come to the castle or come to the palace and personally teach him and personally tutor him. And that to me is what's so fantastic about the possibility of clones. But I want to know more about your thoughts on how this evolves from being a mere curiosity, which in fairness, at least with the people I've tried it on, for a lot of people, it's just a curiosity at this point. Yeah. How do we get it to where it really is a meaningful experience that, people talk about their digital coach the same way a lot of people talk about their in-person pickleball coach or their therapist or their life coach, or all these other things that are done in real life?
So the way that I think that this is ultimately going to be exposed to more and more people is if the clone becomes a part of the online course. So like I said, we're in the Pickle Zone, we're using it. We've got the video to teach you what you need to learn about your serve or whatever. And there's 10 principles there, but you don't necessarily have to do the principles in order. So I think eventually we'll get away from the video because the clone will be able to pull up a section of the video that demonstrates exactly how to do the serve, but the clone will trigger that. And then the clone will know where you are in the process of learning and be able to pull out a lesson that it wants to teach you that day or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think eventually it's going to be going to the clone for your lessons. The clone's going to know where you are in the process of its ultimate model and just automatically do that without having to be real structured about it. I mean, it's going to ultimately become as pretty close to human as the technology will allow us over time.
And in some ways better, because perfect example. I mean, I do think real humans are some value that are superior to clones. So don't get me wrong. And I don't think anything's going to completely replace someone wanting to talk to a real human. I don't think that's going to be replaced.
Right.
So sometimes the human answers, someone will call me on a show, ask a question, and then we'll ask the clone the question. Sometimes I do think my answer is better. Sometimes they're kind of the same, but sometimes the clone actually gives a better answer. It can give more detail. It has more patience. Sometimes someone will ask me, DJ, I'm nervous before I give a speech. What should I do? And I've heard the question so many times, I can be impatient. Like, for the 10,000th time, practice on video until you like what you see.
Right.
My clone's not impatient. It will give a much more detailed response, give them more logic to get up to that, and not express any impatience. Also, if someone says, TJ Clone, who gave the best Academy Award acceptance speech in the last 15 years, and what did they do? My clone has perfect recall and can rattle off, Matthew McConaughey, 2030. Right. I can't remember it after 24 hours. So in some ways, it's actually better. Hey, Gordon, I want to give you the same respect we give all of our guests here. We played your video, but I also like to just give people an opportunity for a minute, 90 seconds to promote like crazy anything and everything, any website, any book, any call to action you have. And there's no follow-up questions. There's no grilling. It's just pure promotion time for you as a thank you for your valuable time being with us as we're about to close out. So I'm actually going to take myself off the screen and ask you to promote to this audience anything you want to promote, starting now.
Wow. Well, thank you very much. So the first thing that's closest to my heart right now is my wife's nonprofit. It's called Apparo Academy, Apparo academy.org. And she's a speech pathologist, and she's created a school for a preschool for kids with disabilities that pushes into the school the speech, occupational, physical, and medical care that they need while they're also learning and preparing for kindergarten. So that's the thing at the top, apparoacademy.org. My primary business is actually in pickleball, so picklezone.com, where I run the training center for pickleball alongside of the professional world champion Scott Moore, who's on all the videos, who does all the video trainings. And we've created his clone, which sits next to every lesson within the course, so you can ask questions and interact with his clone. The future there, like I said earlier in our discussion, is that we want to ultimately be able to have the clone see what's going on the court while you're playing, and to give you immediate feedback, maybe even through your Apple Watch while you're playing. Say, ping, hey, Dodo Bird, you keep hitting to their forehand. You need to hit to their backhand, something like that. So lots going on in the world of pickleball with picklezone.com there. And then, of course, cloneyourself.cc we've been talking about the whole time. But if you have any interest in looking or talking about how to clone yourself, then just go to cloneyourself.cc and you can communicate with us and learn and talk to my clone, talk to Scott Moore's clone, talk to Dr. John Allred's clone, who's a pediatrician, a personal development guru by the name of Tom Butler Bowden. And we are adding more and more clones to that community every day so we can just build a community around all this exciting technology.